And hi, everybody. I'm Matt Laughlin, along with Jim Durk and Jack Fay, and a hearty welcome to the TV3 coverage of the American Irish Association of Woodbridge 19th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Jim, over 100 marching units, over 3,000 marchers, and thousands upon thousands more out enjoying a brisk late winter afternoon. The sun is shining, and we anticipate a couple of hours of an enjoyable afternoon.
That's right, Matt. And as you said, it's a brisk afternoon, but the sun is shining, as it has on our parade for the past number of years. And on behalf of the American Irish Association, I'd like to welcome everybody here today to Woodbridge Township, particularly TV3.
Well, it is our pleasure once again to participate, and we kick off the parade with the Naval Air Station Color Guard out of Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. And following up right behind them, and we'll have a listen to them in just a moment, the Staten Island Pipers. The organization founded in 1965. A 20-man group, the Staten Island Pipers, traveling just a short distance.
And coming into view right now is the American Irish Association. I see Chuck Lewis and Ken Stiles with the green beard. He's our co-chairman of this year's event, Matt, along with the other members of the American Irish Association. I see there's Chuck Lewis. There's my mother, Terry Dirk. Pete Mooney, I see, just passed out of our view. And again, Ken Stiles, our co-chairman.
Jim.
And there's our mayor, Jim McGreevy, with his lovely wife, Carrie. And I see the Woodbridge Council marching behind him. John Mitch, Bernie Peterson, Vinnie Martino, Bob Luban, Ken Gardner, Frank Pelsman, Bob Garoniak, Mr. Sobieski, and John Kimberlin. See our Pete Delina. There he is. Vinnie Martino, and is that an Irish wolfhound?
Got an Irish wolfhound?
Jack Fay in the background asking the same question, and Vinnie Martino replies affirmatively.
Matt, I believe in our view now is the 6th Motor Transport Battalion out of Newman Springs Road in Red Bank. And we were talking earlier, they participated in Desert Shield, Desert Storm operation. And welcome to you.
First Sergeant Rayer, the leader of the 6th Motor Transport. It's a little over a year ago, I guess about 14 months ago, that the United States became fully engaged.
That's right,
in
Matt.
the Middle East. And one of the 3 high schools here in Woodbridge Township represented the Colonia High School Marching Patriots. 75 strong. Band director Lenny Gallo.
And a little bit of Harrigan. A-double-R-I-G-A-N-U-C. That's a name that's a shame never has been connected with Harrigan. That's me.
Very good, Jim.
Not bad, huh? Everybody's got to sing a little Harrigan on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, they say everyone is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. Of course, we are just 2 days away from the official celebration and the big parade in New York City. But the parades, such as this one here in Woodbridge, the parades in New Jersey, have started to take on a big flavor of their own.
That's right, Matt. As we've been building and building participation over the past number of years.
The 1992 Miss American Irish just passes by. Jennifer Bauer and her lady-in-waiting, Cindy Campbell.
I see the association float just moving out of our view. Ireland forever. Hello, Christopher.
A couple of the youngsters out. I think parades are for the young and the young at heart.
And St. Patrick himself.
And of course, that's Joe Fennelly.
No.
It looks like he's giving out rosary beads
to the youngsters along the parade route here.
Joe is an association member, and he's our chaplain. And there's the rest of the American Irish Association coming into view now.
And
That's
this is
all of our members.
This group founded in 1966, and Jim, this group has grown over the years.
That's correct, Matt. It was founded in 1966 by the late Mike McGovern and Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson, who spoke this morning, beautifully, I should say, about our American Irish heritage. Donna Lewis, our president, is in view right now. Donna also spoke at a ceremony held by Mayor McGreevy this morning. There's John Galvin in view. And our association members, certainly very proud today and very proud of this parade.
How many members, Jim?
We're just shy of 300 members, Matt.
And they are all active in the fundraising that goes on to put this parade on. It's not just a get-together the night before and plot things out.
No. This starts really in September, actively.
And with nearly 300 members, I would assume that all of the counties of Ireland are represented.
I would think so.
All 32 represented.
All 32. I see the Bridget Bean School of Dancing in view right now, and I understand Bridget's group was up at Radio City Music Hall a couple of weeks ago for the big Irish event that they had up there. And we've had her dancers featured at our St. Patrick's Day dance every year, and a terrific job. The step dancing and
approximately 25 dancers represented today. Right out of Fords, New Jersey. Right around the corner.
And part of Woodbridge Township.
Part of Woodbridge Township, but the people in Fords want you to know they're in Fords.
Very distinctive section, you're right.
And from just down the road in Perth Amboy, the Naval Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps, the NJROTC unit out of Perth Amboy High School.
And they're wearing the official U.S. Navy ROTC cadet uniform, Matt.
And they have won a number of awards over the years. Best Marching Unit in 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91, and hoping to repeat again here in 1992. Young men and women from Perth Amboy High School.
Here's a group I think you know something about, Matt.
Well, the Union County Irish American Association, which was founded by today's Grand Marshal, Joe Driscoll. And its members come from all over the county. And Joe, of course, a resident of Hillside, born and raised in Bayonne, and founded what he calls a social club that thrives and strives to keep the Irish heritage going. Founded it about a dozen years ago.
Pardon?
I'd like to say that the Union County Irishmen have been very supportive of our parade and our fundraising functions, and we're awful proud to have Joe Driscoll as Grand Marshal, and I know he is too. He's thrilled.
Joe traces his roots to County Cork, but as we said, born and raised in Bayonne. But his grandparents, James and Catherine Dodge Driscoll, were born in County Cork.
And we have the president of the association in view, Barbara Mahan. Welcome, Barbara. And the rest of the members of the Union County Irish.
Followed by past presidents, Eamon Lawler, Siobhan Lawler, Michael Kelly, Joe Downey, Frank Lawler, John Burke. Youngster who may not remember his or her participation but I'm sure his parents will. I should point out that, and I would be remiss if I did not point out, that my
Hey, parade souvenirs.
in-laws are active members of the Union County Irish American Association.
I was waiting to hear
Aggie
that,
Teresa
Matt.
Brady.
I was waiting to hear that. You would have been remiss. A couple of Colleens there, enjoying themselves.
As are the thousands along this parade route. And behind the Union County Irish American Association, the St. Columcille United Gaelic Pipe Band from Kearney. And Ireland's 32, the 32 counties represented. The Union County Irish American Association marching strong this afternoon at the 19th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, run under the auspices of the American Irish Association of Woodbridge Township.
And don't they look terrific, Matt? All decked out in their green jackets and their white pants, and each carrying a different flag for the different counties. What a terrific looking marching group.
And we see Waterford and Tipperary and Wexford and Derry represented, Limerick and Galway, Tyrone, where my grandfather was born and raised, in County Cork and Derry, where my grandmother called home for so many years. Wicklow and Antrim, and on, the 32 represented.
And let's not forget Cavan. That's where my mother's family's from, my grandparents.
We could not forget that. And the Union County Irish American Association continues to be represented, and right behind them, a very important organization, Project Children of Central Jersey. It's an organization that brings Irish youth to this country for the summer so that they can spend 6 weeks here and get away from the troubles of the North and enjoy some freedom and a relaxed atmosphere that is denied to so many youngsters in the north of Ireland.
And the lady who's in the screen now, or she just passed out, Dot Ashton, is very active with the association. And as you say, Matt, there's Dot now. She's a terrific lady. She had 13 children, I believe, herself, lost her husband when he was a young man, raised them, had enough love left over to start becoming active in this organization. And as you said, they bring children over from Northern Ireland. This year, they plan to get 1,000 children.
An aunt of mine participated in that program for a number of years, and it really is just a great organization, and it's something that you remember for a lifetime. Again, as you can bring some of the young boys and girls out of the troubled areas of the north of Ireland and enjoy a summer of fun and relaxation.
And we're happy to include Dot as a member. That's the St. Cecilia's Knights of Columbus Council 3639 in view right now, followed by the fourth degree, the Living Rosary. And we've had them and the Living Rosary a number of years at the parade, Matt, and it's one of the more interesting, more visible marching units that we have. I'm proud to say I'm a member of that council. It's a very active council, and as you can see, they're well represented here in the parade.
John McCormick Jr., the Grand Knight.
And hello to all of you. And there's John McCormick right now in front of the banner. Hello, John. Welcome. And welcome to everybody.
Frank Kazar, the navigator of the Living Rosary. And they are proud to point out that they always rank in the top three, or awarded a top three finish at the very least here at the Woodbridge Parade. And the members of the KFC.
And what a turnout they have.
Many of them with various shapes and sizes of caps and hats placed atop their heads, and some decked out in knitted sweaters.
I see a few walking sticks, blackthorn walking sticks.
Smiles on everyone's faces. From Union High School.
That's the junior ROTC from Union High School, man.
The Army Junior ROTC, 60 strong. You know, Jim, so often we associate the ROTC with more on the college level, but there are a number of high school programs, Union, obviously. We saw Perth Amboy. We'll see Linden a little later on in the parade. Many of them go on to careers in the armed forces following their graduation from high school.
I believe this is the Legionnaire Senior Marching Band in view now.
Out of Carteret. A cool afternoon, but a nice afternoon with the sun shining and just a few clouds in the sky. And following up closely from Hopewell, New Jersey, the Hopewell Valley American Legion Post 339. Proud flag wavers from Hopewell Valley Post 339. And they've got behind that banner a 20 by 40 foot American flag. And with the windy day that we have today, that's some test for those men to be able to carry that so straight.
I understand it takes 18 of them to carry it, Matt.
"25 marchers from post 339. We're at the corner of Route 35, Main Street in Woodbridge. The parade makes a left turn just a few feet behind the shop that you see on your television screen and makes its way down toward Town Hall.
And the reviewing stand is right at Town Hall. And that's where the judging takes place, right before there.
And let me tell you, there's not a group represented today that is not interested in where they place as whether or not they are in the top three or
That's right, man.
the number one winner. They're very proud of winning these awards. You can see just down toward the end of this portion of the parade route, and just by that traffic light is where the parade makes its left-hand turn. And high above the parade route, one of our camera operators, Walt Zarosco. I should point out here that the crew that is working behind the scenes here has done a masterful job at enabling us to bring you these pictures, because when we first arrived here, we ran into some technical difficulties, and it was a last-minute rush to get everything ready to go. And Jim, as you and I well know, we were just seconds away from the beginning of this parade, and that's when we were able to get going. So it was a job well done by our crew here at Suburban Cablevision's TV3.
I was impressed. I really was. With the difficulties and to be able to get the television viewing on time.
From Somerville, the Stevenson post number 12, the Stevenson D'Alessio post number 12, John Havey, the post commander. This organization founded in April of 1919. It is the 6th largest post in the state, has over 700 members. And the Color and Honor Guard has been performing in parades and ceremonies for over 17 years. Everybody enjoys the parade, and behind them, representing the State American Legion Committee, the state commander, Frank Cartier. And now, as we saw earlier, the Colonia High School Marching Band making its way down Route 35 or St. George Avenue is the Woodbridge High School Marching Band. James Young, the band director, 85 strong. Of course, Woodbridge High School right up the block here. Oh, about a 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile up the block.
And that's where the parade originates, Matt, at Woodbridge High School. And as we can see in the screen, the marchers really have to hold on to those flags. The wind is whipping.
And those who are marching or those who are watching are thankful that it is a virtually cloudless day. Otherwise, it would be much cooler. But the sun out shining brightly, and that increases the temperature and makes it a comfortable day. No one who doesn't recognize the refrain heard in the background, performed by the Woodbridge High School Marching Band. And Irish eyes are always smiling.
Especially on a day like today.
An estimate of somewhere close to 30,000 people watching today's parade along the route at various points. Of course, the more popular areas are down by where the review stand is.
That's where the crowds will really be.
Yeah. And then they will break up at the end of this parade, and they will move on to various celebrations throughout this town and neighboring communities. The Avenel Memorial Post 7164 from Avenel, another section of Woodbridge Township. The Ladies Auxiliary Color Guard marching, 25 strong. And behind them, our first firefighting group, Jim.
That's right. It's the Avenel Fire Company number 1, and they're located at Route 1 and Avenel Street, right here in Avenel, which is part of Woodbridge Township.
Founded in 1913, Frank Boyle, the fire chief, fire company president Stanley Dureski,
And the Ladies Auxiliary president is Karen Baylock.
And of course, they have marched for many years in this parade, and of course, some local Christmas Day parades.
And they've won numerous trophies.
And provide a service to the residents of this township, and particularly to the Avenel section. A volunteer fire department. No one is paid. They are rewarded only by their feelings of community service and the response that they receive from the neighbors that they have in Avenel.
You know, as we've said in years past, Matt, too, that one of the nicest things about a parade like today is that you really do get to see a number of the organizations that mean so much to a particular community. The volunteer fire departments, the volunteer first aid squad, all the leaders with the Cub Scout packs, the Boy Scout packs, and it really gives you a sense of community and of community pride.
Well, and that's what this parade is all
what it's-
about, community,
right.
community pride, and that's what the
Exactly.
Irish have always been about. Establishing their roots in a community and offering their service. And I guess it's only appropriate that we talk about the civil service. And although this is a volunteer fire department, the Irish made their name in the civil service in this country, serving in police and fire departments as they came across the ocean to this country.
And all their trucks are an appropriate green for today. And while we have a little time, Matt, she wasn't in view earlier, but in addition to the Grand Marshal, we select every year an Irish Person of the Year. And this year it was our own member, Pat Crideweiss, who's from Colonia, New Jersey. She has been a charter member of the American Irish Association and very active, an officer, very active in many, many functions in the club. And we're certainly proud to have her as our Irish Woman of the Year. And congratulations, Pat. So to both Joe and Pat, congratulations.
Joe Driscoll, the Grand Marshal. Pat Crideweiss, the Irish Person of the Year. And this is the Avenel and Colonia First Aid Squad as the viewers along the parade route, bundled up against the cool weather, but smiles all around, enjoying the activities. And this group also completely voluntary, organized in 1945. Linda Carlbon is the head of the Avenel Colonia First Aid Squad. Took second place in the 1991 Christmas Parade. You know, and a lot of people don't realize when they place that call, when they have need of this service of the Avenel Colonia First Aid Squad, that there's someone there to answer the call. They are always looking for those who are interested in supplementing their workforce. And if you are interested, I am sure that if you have the time and the dedication, your offer will not be refused.
I would think you're 100% right on that, Matt.
The Tri-Town Service Unit of the Delaware Raritan Girl Scout Council. Girl Scouts marching, daisies, brownies, juniors. And this organization has members from Ford's, the Clara Barton section of Edison, Menlo Park Terrace, approximately 100 members marching today.
They're under the leadership of Karen Oleniak, who's the service unit director. And I understand last year they took first place for their particular unit at our St. Patrick's Day Parade.
And that moved them up from third place the year before in the Woodbridge St. Patrick's Day Parade. It'll be tough to beat out first place this year. I'm sure they'll be happy if they can just take it again.
That's right.
They are marching in what's called the sub-teen marching unit. As we said, Jim, over 3,000 participants.
That's right, Matt. And as you can imagine, a lot of work goes into that. And this year, the chairwoman was Alice Goodhart, assisted by her co-chair, Ken Stiles, who was a chairman of the parade a couple of years ago. And I know that Alice would be somewhat miffed if I did not mention on her behalf what an outstanding job her committee did, and they did. It takes a lot of work, a lot of organization, and it's a credit to the parade committee and to Alice and to Ken for a fine job that they've done so far. And from where we're sitting, Matt and myself, it looks terrific, and we want you to know that. Good job.
Congratulations to Alice and her committee and Ken and all those who were able to put this event together, and over 100 units participating. And so there's obviously a recognition, Jim, among the local communities, and in fact, farther than just a few miles from here. I mean, we have representation from New York City. We have representation from Ireland we will see later on. The word has spread that this is an outstanding parade and something that others want to be a part of.
That's right, Matt. Over the 19 years, we've continued to grow, and we've heard tell that we're the second largest in the metropolitan area, behind New York, of course, which is the granddaddy of them all. But we're certainly proud of how we've grown and proud of the support that we get. And we'd like to thank all of the marching units.
In the background, we heard some guns firing off, and I believe that is the organization, the Sons and Daughters of the American Civil War veterans. But we'll know as they approach a little more closely. A little bit of a pause in this parade. Again, we are near where the parade turns off of Route 35, which you are looking up. And they move down onto Main Street in Woodbridge, past the reviewing stand.
And I believe, Matt, that that's the Boy Scout Troop 31 that's in view right now.
From Port Reading.
Movie stars.
And in their questionnaire, as well stated by one of their leaders, Boy Scouts assisting boys through their formative years and good character into adulthood. And well put.
And they represent St. Anthony's Church in Port Reading. And to the right of your screen there, that's Father Robert Lynham, who is the pastor of St. Anthony's. And behind them, also from St. Anthony's, the Cub Scout Pack 31.
I heard that. I was like, I heard a frog.
Troop 31 and its Cub Pack 31 has 34 years of continuous service. Going back to Troop 31, they've traveled throughout the East Coast, and the youngsters of the Cub Scouts will graduate into Boy Scout Troop 31.
And they have quite a showing here today. It's really quite a turnout of not only the Scouts, but parents and leaders.
And this past November, Boy Scout Troop 31 traveled down to Arlington National Cemetery and placed a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
I believe we have the Sunrisers Drum and Bugle Corps with us, Matt.
From Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. I believe they're a new unit. It's the first time I've seen them. And again, a handsome-looking uniform.
And a well-deserved round of applause from those that we can see along the parade route from our vantage point. Jim, what I like about this parade is that the organization, the committee, has been able to get a number of marching bands to perform. You see so many bands, or so many parades rather, where for one reason or another, they don't have as many marching bands participating. And the way this parade has been organized, an awful lot of marching bands, 20, along with pipe bands, and it just breaks things up. It makes for a much more festive occasion.
And the committee works very hard to accomplish that, Matt. And you mentioned the pipers.
And
Missed me. Did it get you?
I think I've survived.
Good.
I don't know if I'd survive a third shot. You can see the smoke clearing from the gunshots, and we'll talk about that group in just a moment. But the group on your screen now, Junior Troop 281 from Port Reading. Girl Scouts of America, 21 marchers. Suzanne Marcella is the woman who is in charge of Troop 81, Junior Troop 81, 281. And I noticed that they have name tags, and they've all added a prefix of an O or a Mick to whatever their last name. So I know Garcia.
Just into the spirit, Matt. Got to be Irish today.
And on your screen now, the American Civil War Sons of the Union and Confederate Veterans out of Port Reading. Captain Edward McGuinn. And they are a Civil War reenactment group. It's 24 marchers, and perhaps we've heard them twice before. Perhaps we'll get an opportunity to see them load up those guns and give off a little salute. I'm ducking, however.
Get off another round here. Well, the windows in the van here are bulletproof, aren't they, Matt?
Yes, they are.
But that was in the contract.
It was done specifically for this group.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, we will not see them fire the guns. My guess is we might hear them as they make the turn down Main Street.
As long as they don't fire that cannon that they have with them.
That group specifically, by the way, represents the Irish men and women who fought in the Civil War. As we look at an old Civil War cannon.
There's that cannon. It's pointed right at us.
Earlier this afternoon, Jim, you were stating that there was a ceremony this morning here in Woodbridge, and it was pointed out that 50% of those who fought in the Revolutionary War were of Irish descent.
That's right. Mayor Jim McGreevy, who, as you know, is of Irish descent, and the council had a ceremony at Town Hall this morning, and it was really beautiful. Joe Jackson, who is one of the founders of the American Irish Association, spoke. And one of the things he said was that if George Washington were to address the group today, he would thank the men of Irish descent because about 50% of his army were of Irish descent.
Port Reading Fire Department passing by. Chief Patrick Rinaldi in charge of the fire department. And the volunteer first aid squad from Port Reading following close behind.
Okay, I've got the Honorable Mr. McGreevy and Mr. Driscoll.
Oh, good.
They're right behind me here, Mr. Driscoll. And who do you want next? The list I got. Like, well, I'll see who's down there, but I'll leave now and go get two more. Okay. Donna and maybe Councilman. Okay. Dickie Lacker's on the right by you.
This is the 19th annual American Irish Association of Woodbridge St. Patrick's Day Parade. And we hope that you're enjoying the festivities as they come your way over Suburban Cablevision's TV3.
And that's Miss New Jersey and some of her ladies in waiting.
Miss Preteen New Jersey, Sharon Costello. And as you said, her ladies in waiting, Lauren Foster and Debbie Zuchek.
I hope they're keeping warm.
In the convertibles. In just a few moments, Jack Fay will be joined by the Grand Marshal, Joe Driscoll, and also the Honorable Mayor of Woodbridge Township, Jim McGreevy. We invite you to stay with us for comments from those two gentlemen.
And it looks like the Emerald Pipe Band of the New York City Department of Corrections coming into view now, Matt.
Based in Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs, and I'm sure they'll be participating Tuesday evening, or Tuesday afternoon, rather, in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. March along 5th Avenue. Beautiful day, and you can see the people lined up along St. George Avenue here. Just a beautiful shot.
What would a St. Patrick's Day parade be without pipes, Matt?
Wouldn't be the same.
Nope.
And while we have a moment, let's send it down to our colleague Jack Fay, who has a very special man.
We're here at the 19th annual Woodbridge Parade, one of the great ones. Brisk weather, and I have with me here Joe Driscoll from the Union County Irish, the Grand Marshal of this parade. Joe, it's wonderful to have you with us.
It's a great day to be here. God gave us a great day, and every Irishman should have a great St. Patrick's Day. And thanks to all the Union County Irish people that got me here. Just wonderful. I'm about 5'10" and a half. Today I'm 7 foot.
Wonderful, Joe.
Beautiful.
Thank you. It's our honor. It's our
you.
honor to have you and the Union County Irish. Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you, Jack. And this is a day that Joe Driscoll will remember for many, many years to come.
And what
In
a
fact, he recently
deserving
made
individual.
his first trip back to Ireland.
Is that right?
Yeah, just this past November. 5 children, 3 grandchildren. Joe is also a member of the Joseph Nugent Senior Association and the County Corkman Association of Bayonne.
A well-deserving Grand Marshal.
Middlesex Council 857 of the Knights of Columbus passing by, along with the 3rd degree of the Knights of Columbus. And we should specially mention these gentlemen because we are parked right outside this KFC's headquarters.
That's right. Council number 857, right here in Woodbridge. And we thank you for your courtesy. It's before the parade, Matt. We get to sit inside the hall and keep warm, which is very much appreciated.
Cub Scout Pack 34 from Woodbridge marching this afternoon from the Trinity Episcopal Church in Woodbridge. And some fire engines blaring their horns. All right, while we have this opportunity, let's send it back down to Jack Fay. Jack.
Okay, we're now welcoming the mayor himself and his lovely, wonderful wife with us here. Jim, your first St. Patrick's Day parade in Woodbridge as the mayor himself.
Jack, it's indeed an honor, and it's great having Carrie here. I mean, part of what's special, obviously, about this parade is being Irish, and we very much enjoyed also this morning's festivities when we raised the Irish flag.
Yes, I've heard nothing but good things all day, Jim, about it. Carrie, God love you and having you with us here. You're seeing it all in a few months, Carrie. Your first parade.
I'm so excited and happy to be here and to share this with Jim and his family. And a wonderful, wonderful parade. Lots of spirit.
All right. You have to excuse us. Carteret is going by.
And I don't think Jack meant any harm by that. He was just pointing out
Sure
that the
not.
Carteret Volunteer Fire Department was passing by, and perhaps they were just honoring the mayor with their sirens blaring. And we'll go back to Jack in just a moment. Chief Keith Packard and the Carteret First Aid Squad also represented. Lisa Resco, head of the Carteret First Aid Squad, and Tom Resco, captain of the Carteret First Aid Squad. Excuse me, Tom Resco is the captain.
And now in view, Matt, is Cub Scout Pack 89 from Carteret, New Jersey, under the leadership of John Graff, and they're a sub-teen marching unit.
50 strong.
And again, Carteret being a neighboring municipality to Woodbridge Township.
Yeah, just up the road a little bit.
Yep.
And the State Color Guard of the Ladies Auxiliary VFW. And we'll be taking a break in just a moment. In fact, why don't we do that now while there's a little bit of a pause in today's activities? We'll be back right after this.
My hero, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero, Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Matt Lachlan and Jim Durk back along the parade route here in Woodbridge along St. George Avenue, Route 35, if you will. We're at the corner of St. George Avenue and Main Street for the 19th Annual American Irish Association of Woodbridge St. Patrick's Day Parade, and Jack Fay has some more important people standing by with him.
Okay, the two gentlemen with me now, John McCormick, the Grand Knight, the St. Cecilia's Knight, and Tim Dacey from Perth Amboy, who's head of Public Works. It's good to have both of you gentlemen here. Your impressions of the parade?
Well, Jack, this is our best turnout ever. We had more men marching today than ever before. It's my 10th parade, and one of the reasons was we had a living rosary designed by Scott Goley, and it took 15 men to carry this life-size rosary.
Very impressive too, John.
Very proud to march with that.
Rightfully so. Tim, your
It's a beautiful day and nice turnout amongst the people of Woodbridge. It's about my 5th parade. You usually march with the Perth Amboy Fire Department. Today's the first time marching with the administration. Just glad to see the turnout here. It's certainly a great day for the Irish and all nationalities in Woodbridge.
Yes, thank you both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Jack, and thank you. The Edison Superstar Twirlers participating today, and before them we heard, but didn't see much of, the Melrose Blackhawks Senior Drum and Bugle Corps out of South Amboy. But of course, we would have preferred to hear from Jack and his guests.
That's right, Matt. And I think soon someone else will be with Jack in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it looks like he has with us, or with him, the Irish Person of the Year. Jack?
You called? Yeah. Okay. With us now is Patricia Kinsella Kreiderweiss, the Irish Person of the Year. Patricia, you're looking as lovely as ever, and your impressions and how your feelings on being this high exalted moment.
Oh, I'm very, very honored. I'm very pleased and proud to have been a member of the American Irish Club for the past 25 years. And I'm also very proud to have been chosen Irish Person of the Year. Really a great honor. Always have to celebrate St. Patrick's Day because it's my name day. So I really take a good job of celebrating on it.
Patricia, now that we have a woman, the first woman president of Ireland, that's your next step.
Oh, yeah, I'll try. That's when I retire. I'll move over there and try for that one.
Good. Thank you, Pat. Thanks for being with us.
Of course, Mary Robinson, the first woman Irish president.
That's right, Matt. And again, congratulations to Pat, her husband Artie, and her family. Certainly a well-deserved designation.
That's the Ford's Fire Company #1, founded in 1911. Representing District 7 in Woodbridge Township, Todd Pinter is the chief. And just a few short years ago, Jim, they celebrated their 75th anniversary. 30 members marching along with variety of fire equipment. And, you know, I think that what goes through everyone's mind is, well, what happens if, unfortunately, God forbid, there's a little bit of a fire in Forge? Well, they've arranged with local communities for what they call mutual aid. Someone will cover their territory, but I'm sure it won't be long before they're back in the firehouse ready to serve the residents, citizens of Woodbridge Township, and particularly those in the Ford section.
That's right, Matt. And as a matter of fact, it may have been last year, I'm not sure, but one of the years we actually had to have a fire department, fire company leave the parade.
I remember this. That was about 3 years ago, I guess,
Right.
4 years ago.
Because an emergency in the community had arisen, and first things came first.
St. John's First Aid Squad, also from the Ford's section. All volunteers.
One of my secretary's husbands is with this group. He's a volunteer, Joe Gaddy. And Joe, if you're marching today, hello.
Well,
and to the rest of the participants.
we would be remiss if we didn't honor everyone for participating today. As we look down our parade route, you can see the shadows extending from the vehicles that are participating and the marchers. You can see what a glorious day it is. It's the Irish tricolor held high and proud, along with stars and stripes.
And Matt, as you said earlier, I don't think there's a cloud in the sky. It's just a beautiful day.
Truly a gorgeous day today. Last week, temperatures were in about the 60s in that area for a couple of parades. One in Somerville, which was back after, I guess, a 2 years absence. And, of course, Belmar held its parade last week, and the weather cooperated, and the weather has cooperated today for the 19th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade here in Woodbridge, run under the auspices of the American Irish Association of Woodbridge. Going back to this morning's ceremonies, and during our commercial break, the mayor stopped by and said hello to us, and he once again reiterated, as he did in his interview with Jack Fay, how proud he was of how smoothly everything went this morning. One other interesting point was brought out, that every police chief in the history of Woodbridge Township has been of Irish descent.
That's right, Matt. That was also brought out by Joe Jackson, and he had really done his homework, and apparently that's the case. Our last chief was Tony O'Brien, who's a member of our club, and now we have William Trenery, so the tradition continues. We have the Staten Island Pipers, that bagpipe band that's in view right now, and can listen up to the pipers as they pass through.
Rightfully, Staten Island should be part of New Jersey. It's a lot closer to New Jersey than to any of the other boroughs.
Well, I think they want to be independent, Matt. I don't know if they want to hook up with Jersey. But
I'm not so sure they want to stay a part of New York City anymore either. I think they'd be happy to see the city become just 4 boroughs, and Staten Island exist on its own. The Brunswick Shamrock Club from East Brunswick, Willie Donovan, the president, marching 50 strong.
And this has been a very active group in supporting the parade and in our functions, our fundraisers. And without groups like this, we really couldn't pull the parade off, Matt. We're very much appreciative. And beautiful uniforms, nice turnout.
Past Grand Marshal of this parade is a member of the Shamrock Club.
That's correct.
Marching or riding today, as the case may be. I'll tell you, the convertible tops have been down today, and that kind of reminds you that spring is just around the corner, and there are warmer days ahead, although it's a fairly nice day today. Right now, let's send it back down to Jack Fay, who has St. Patrick standing by.
Okay, it truly wouldn't be a real St. Patrick's Day without St. Patrick. Joseph Fenley, one of the original members and charter members of the heart of the club. John Mitch, our councilman from Woodbridge. We're both so happy to have you. Your impressions, Joseph or Patrick?
I want you to be aware, Jack, that Patrick was kidnapped and he was away from his mother and father and his grandmother and grandfather for 6 years, and they didn't know whether he was alive or dead. And they prayed incessantly day and night for his return. After 6 years, he escaped and returned to his mother and father and his grandmother and grandfather. He was so impressed by the prayers that they had offered up that he offered himself up to God in church and returned to Ireland to bring the Irish people out of paganism into Christianity. And then we have the march of the Irish people till we have them today, the most Christian people that you have in the nation and the world.
God love you. John, your impressions, many parades later?
Jack, this is just a fabulous day again here in Woodbridge. Of course, a lot has contributed through the American Irish of Woodbridge, and Alice Goodhart put a fabulous parade together.
Truly did.
Absolutely. A great day again.
Thank you very much, John, for being with us as always.
Thank you, sir.
Senator.
Thank
St.
you.
Patrick's.
Thank you, Senator.
Spread the faith.
I will.
Thank
I
you.
will.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Joe.
Jack Fay. I think Jack has as much fun as anyone.
Jack loves this. He's really in his element. He's, a former state senator. He's as Irish can be, and Jack just loves it. He's having a great time.
The Colonia Fire Department had passed by just a moment ago. And now the Colonia First Aid Squad.
With Captain Kathleen Curran.
And the First Aid Auxiliary also participating.
Curran sounds a little Irish to me, Matt.
Just a little bit. That equipment is awfully expensive, Jim, and again, voluntary. And I'm not sure exactly what the relationship is between the municipal government and the voluntary first aid and fire departments here. Sometimes, in some communities, it really is up entirely to the individual first aid squad or fire department to raise the funds for those pieces of equipment. In others, and perhaps it's true here in Woodbridge, there is a bonding process in which the township will back up the fundraising efforts. But at the very least, the maintenance and upkeep of those pieces of equipment are the responsibility of the squads.
That's right, Matt. And that's why when they have their fundraisers and they walk door to door, of course, it's something to keep in mind.
Knights of Columbus, Pope John Paul I, Council 6571. Roger McNamara, the Grand Knight, walked before the cameras just a moment ago. 20 members strong. Let's send it back down to Jack.
Okay. Alice Mary Goodhart, Donna Lewis, the president of the American Irish. Alice Mary, you should truly be proud of this great, as the chairman of this great parade.
Thank you. I really just want to thank everyone who's worked so hard. It's a big crew that does it. It's a big honor to be out here celebrating like this, and I hope everybody's having a good time.
An honor well deserved. You've been getting great reviews all day long. Honor for the American Irish as the president.
Thank you, Jack. I just want to say that it's the 19th year for our parade. I'm sure it's been said before. It gets bigger and better every year. And Alice and her co-chairperson, Ken Stiles, did a fabulous job. They had a great, hard-working committee. And it's a proud feeling to come down the street and see what you've accomplished and what you've created. And I know I've been there. But I thank Alice and her committee, too. And everybody have fun.
Okay, Alice, Donna, and the thanks from the people of Woodbridge and the people of the state, really, for putting on one of the great parades in New Jersey. And we thank you dearly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the Woodbridge River Watch on the screen now, and their object, quite simply, to clean up the Woodbridge River. Ernie Oros is the chairman.
Ernie's chairman, and he's also one of our newly elected assemblymen, Matt. And this is usually a terrific-looking float, and again, they haven't failed us this year. A lot of effort put into that.
All signifying the cleanup operations of the Woodbridge River by the Woodbridge River Watch. And a reminder that Earth Day 1992 is April 25th, or at least there'll be a celebration here in Woodbridge on April 25th.
That's right, Matt.
Down at Ford's Park.
That's being chaired by Sharon McGreevy. And as you mentioned, very important work that they do. A lot of work, a lot of manpower goes into cleaning up the Woodbridge River. And woman power, I should say.
People power doing
People power.
Their best to clean up that waterway. The Colonia Athletic Association marching today. And it is a volleyball recreational league for girls from ages 8 through 16.
They're with their director, Bob Campbell, also a member of our club. And hello, Bob, and to the girls marching.
That's the third year, or this is the third year that they are participating in the parade. And now the third high school here in Woodbridge Township. From the Island section, JFK Memorial High School, the marching band, Ken Hunt, the director, and they have 55 marchers with them this afternoon.
And I just love these uniforms, Matt. I'm sure most of the viewers along the parade route do as well.
Green and white.
Green and white.
School colors, and very appropriate this afternoon.
Thank you.
The Marching Mustangs from JFK.
And Matt, while we have just a little break here, I would like to give a little recognition to the association and its officers. We've already met Donna Lewis, President, Charlie Shaughnessy, Vice President, John Galvin, our Recording Secretary, Charles Lewis, Corresponding Secretary, George D. Aston, Financial Secretary, Tom Henderson, who's our Treasurer, and Ken Stiles, our Sergeant at Arms.
Island VFW Post 2636. And behind them, the Island Volunteer Fire Company number 1.
With First Deputy Chief Ray Schaefer.
And they are paired today with the Island First Aid Squad. Ron Abel, the captain. And someone along the parade route must have recognized someone marching today, or perhaps just recognizing the service of the Island Fire Company.
And the truck's decked out with green ribbons and shamrocks in celebration of St. Patrick. And Matt, who passed some time here a little bit while the trucks are going by, I found a little book on Irish trivia. I thought maybe we could do a little Irish Trivial Pursuits. The book is by a Mary McCaffrey, a Henry Quinlan, and a Michael Quinlan. And we're going to test all of you out there who are Irish. We're going to test your Irish.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Sound fair enough?
Let's see how you do out there.
All right, Matt, what was the shillelagh originally used for?
It was to demonstrate fighting skills of some sort.
That's right, and I can tell you're reading along with me here. The shillelagh.
Fair, Jim.
The shillelagh was originally used to teach Irishmen sword fighting when they were not permitted to use swords many, many years ago.
All right, so I'm officially 0 for 1.
Oh, you're doing well.
All right.
You're doing well. And since you're wearing a Claddagh ring,
yes,
where is the home of the famous Claddagh ring?
That is Galway. That I know, but
It's Claddagh, actually. The name of the town is Claddagh in County Galway.
All right.
Galway was right.
The Island First Aid Squad, and they are marching today with Boy Scout Troop 348.
I just, at the ceremony this morning, Matt, there's something I have to get off my chest.
All right.
It's a little pet peeve. I heard the pronunciation of CELTIC 2 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Celtic, by some good Irishmen who I won't name, and Celtic. And I always thought that Celtic was someone like Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm.
And the correct pronunciation is with the hard C, or Celtic.
That's right.
So to all you Irishmen out there, it's a Celtic cross.
Yes.
You can still hear the song almost a day, and it comes to
The Island First Aid Squad caught up in the feeling of the day. And those men walking across the roadway, the Emerald Pipe Band from the New York City Department of Corrections, and we saw them perform earlier. And they are going in for some well-deserved refreshments.
And with the kilts, I would imagine they're going to get warm, Matt.
Always big, strapping men who play the pipes. That is not easy.
And coming into view is Cub Scout Pack number 148 from Island, New Jersey, with Cub Master Nicholas Theodos.
They are also sponsored by the VFW Post, which we saw marching just a few moments ago.
And
were you ever a Cub Scout, Jim?
As a matter of fact, I was. I was with Cub Pack 148 over in Island. And it was one of the most enjoyable experiences I had as a child.
All right, take off.
This little girl is posing as Mother Earth, and your real name is? Catherine Delina. Catherine Delina. And today we're out here telling people about our Earth Day celebration, which will be April the 25th at Ford's Park, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to have music and clowns and displays and entertainment, and it'll be a wonderful day. We're trying to get as many people involved as possible.
And as Mother Earth, what did you think of the Irish parade so far?
It's okay.
Oh, good. It's good to have you with us.
Oh,
Thanks a lot. Jim.
Beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you dearly.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay, bye now.
All right, Jack, thank you very much, and we encourage everyone to help out. From Colonia, Cub Scout Pack 35. Greg Ficara, the Cub Master.
How are you doing?
And the youngsters enjoying their day in the sun, literally and figuratively.
Here's a good one for you, Matt. What is the most common surname in Ireland?
Ooh.
The most common.
I would be at a loss.
When I tell you, you won't be surprised. Murphy.
You're right, I'm not.
Murphy is the most common surname.
An antique truck there, driven by Andrew Aberay. It's a 1930 pickup. And that precedes the Island Volunteer Fire Department, District 2. Or, excuse me, District 11, that is. Founded in 1924. Chief Dale Eckensberger and the President Bob Thompson. Island Chemical Hook and Ladder.
And they managed to keep those trucks looking spanking new, Matt. I'm sure there's a lot of attention that goes into those.
That piece of apparatus, if you noticed, the men, I don't know if you were able to pick it up, but the men are no longer ride outside fire trucks anymore. That used to be, of course, something that we all seem to recall, where the men would jump onto the back or the side and hold on, but now they are moving more to a self-contained travel unit for safety. So that was one of the newer pieces of fire equipment. Of course, some of the older ones that are still in service, you'll see as the piece of equipment that just went by, they have room in the back for and the side for men to hop on, or women to hop on. But the newer pieces are having self-contained units where you actually ride in like an automobile or inside a cab.
And it really does make a lot of sense for safety reasons.
Just a few miles away is the city of Linden, and those bagpipers are looking on as the Linden High School Navy Junior ROTC comes by.
It's a relatively newly organized group. I note, Matt, that they were organized in September of 1986.
And they join along with the students we saw from Perth Amboy and Union High School. And traveling a long way from County Limerick, the Christian Brothers Pipe Band coming across the ocean to participate today.
And a special welcome to them. Being from the old sod, as we would say.
Band from Ireland.
Their first participation in this parade.
I know, Matt, how young some of the members are in this unit.
And if my Irish was better, I could tell you what it says on the side of that big bass drum.
It's emblazoned with Gaelic. And they're followed by the Ancient Order of Hibernians from Rahway, New Jersey. And behind them is the Ladies Division, number 6 of the AOH. And they're coming into our view right now. Again, they've participated many years in our parade, Matt, and we're happy to see you all again and hope you're having a terrific time and managing to keep warm.
Well, they look like they're bundled up nicely against the breeze that is blowing. Many of these same people will be out along Fifth Avenue on Tuesday for the big St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City. Of course, that is run under the auspices of the AOH, New York City.
That's right.
The 6 vehicles that you see on your screen lined up one behind the other are from the Middlesex County Office of Emergency Management. William Fortier, the county coordinator. And the office was founded back in 1942, and they are responsible for coordinating emergency response anywhere they're needed in Middlesex County.
That's right, Matt.
Peter Cornell is the coordinator of the Emergency Response Division. In fact, I believe this organization was called out just the other day, maybe about 10 days ago in Woodbridge, where there was a little bit of an industrial accident off of Route 1. In fact, Route 1 was closed for several hours. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but in this day and age, when you're dealing with a chemical problem.
That's right. That was that propane leak, I believe
Yes.
it was, and you're right. It had closed off Route 1 for a period of time, and good thing we had the Middlesex County Emergency Response Unit, as well as the local police and firemen. I think they were all out on that one, Matt.
Yes, they were. And they kept a potentially dangerous, hazardous situation from developing into just that.
Right.
The Hope Lawn Engine Company number 1, Nick Pinelli, the chief. Jim, what are there? Is it 9 sections or 7 sections of Woodbridge Township? We could probably go through them all and come up with a quick answer.
Oh, I think we can do fairly well at naming them all. We have Woodbridge proper. We have Seawarren, Port Reading, Avenel, Hope Lawn, Island, Fords,
Colonia.
How could I forget Colonia? I live there. And the Menlo Park section, Menlo Park Terrace, which I think is considered part of Island.
So either 8 or 9, depending on whether or not those in Menlo Park like to consider themselves distinct.
And the Menlo Park Terrace people who are separatists, let's make it 9.
Hope Lawn First Aid Squad here. Young and old marching, decked out in their green windbreakers, green jackets, green caps, and green pants, some of them. This is the 19th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade run by the American Irish Association of Woodbridge. Over 3,000 marchers this afternoon, over 100 units. And when we say a unit, we mean, well, for instance, the Hope Lawn First Aid Squad is a unit. Cub Scout Pack 57, which follows behind them, is a unit. Over 100 units, many from the area, some from out of state. And just a few moments ago, we saw one from Ireland.
That's right, man.
We hope you're enjoying all the activities and festivities of this parade as we come to you from Woodbridge Township. We're along Route 35 and St. George Avenue, just off of Main Street. Across the street from the world-famous Rio Diner. Cub Scout Pack. Yeah, it is.
A landmark.
Cub Scout 57, Cub Scout Pack 57. Susan Schmidt has been the leader there for 31 years. Sponsored by VFW Post 1352 out of Hope Lawn. And that stretch limo is the way to go. That is the way to travel. Cub Master is John Miller. Adam Sosnowski heads the Weeblos.
And an annual participant coming into view now, Matt, the Woodbridge Corvette Club.
Established in 1978. Frank Federico is the club president, and they participate in all Woodbridge parades.
That's right, in every parade. So this is their 19th year.
Do you know offhand how many organizations, how many units have participated?
In since the beginning? About 20, 30. That's a guesstimate, Matt.
Some classic cars.
Some antiques out there. All beautifully maintained and decked out in shamrocks and green, appropriately for St. Patrick's Day Parade. Some flying the tricolors.
Well, while we have this opportunity, let's take a short break. We'll come back with more of today's festivities right after this.
Thousands of forest fires are started by people who never realize what they've done. Some never even set foot in the forest.
Mrs. Washburn, I'm Gerald Fry's mother.
Oh, don't you work nights?
I traded shifts. Mrs. Washburn, about Gerald, I wish I could help him learn better, but I'm no genius.
Well, you don't have to do the homework, but ask to see it. Let him show off what he learned. Praise him more. Show you care.
You think we got a chance here?
A good chance. Show me a parent who really cares, and I'll show you a kid who can learn.
On a grand and glorious late winter afternoon, the 19th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade here in Woodbridge, run by the American Irish Association of Woodbridge. I'm Matt Laughlin, along with Jim Durk, and standing by, our colleague Jack Fay.
Okay, Councilman Frank Pelsman, Councilman Bob Sobieski.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Okay, Frank, you've been in a few parades, to say the least. Didn't see your first one, Bob.
Yeah, but I tell you, the coldness hasn't kept the people from coming out along the whole parade route. They're out there with their blankets and watching a parade, and there's been a super turnout today for the Irish.
Good, Bob. It's good to have you with us.
It's
Frank,
great being here.
Your
I'm just thrilled to be here. It's a great day, beautiful day, and that ceremony we had this morning at Town Hall, outstanding, fine job.
Yes.
Mary Alice Goodhart, you did a great job, and everybody that's connected with this parade, fabulous. Best to everyone.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Bob. Wonderful having you with us.
committee
Okay,
also.
thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jack. The Thaddeus Nolte Post 471, American Legion Post 471 from Island, participating today, along with their auxiliary unit. And the Delaware Raritan Girl Scouts, Brownie Troop 441 from Avenel.
Look in the camera, Lindsay.
Everyone, I'm sure, along the sideline, looking to see if they recognize a friend or a relative, a next-door neighbor.
Smile, you're
It's all about community.
And we have quite a community showing here today, Matt.
Smile, young ladies. You're all on television up there.
From just down the road, Perth Amboy Volunteer Fire Department, established in 1881. Andrew Stafford is the chief. Stanley Progacki is the first assistant.
And looking very smart in their uniforms. And see a green carnation being worn by each officer.
Mm-hmm. Perth Amboy, it is primarily a volunteer fire department. They also have paid members. It's one of the few mixed fire departments in the state of New Jersey. I was speaking with a former TV3 staffer, Dave Volk, the other day, who was a member of the fire department. He was telling me he was recently elevated to the training officer capacity. And he was happy with that new role and his new function with the fire department. And he is one of the paid members of the fire department. We congratulate Dave on that promotion.
And in view now, that looks like an original piece of Perth Amboy Fire Department equipment.
Well, it goes back to 1926. At that point, the fire department was about 40 years old.
I guess that was right after the Bucket Brigade, Matt. But it's something.
And a couple of the more modern pieces of equipment. A couple of Seagrave pumpers. And a hook and ladder.
And in view now is the Army Junior ROTC from Frank H. Morrill High School in Irvington, New Jersey. And again, Matt, they've marched with us for a number of years, and a handsome-looking unit they are.
And they're the only Army Junior ROTC honor unit with distinction in New Jersey.
For 7 consecutive years.
Major Richard Heath is the man who heads this unit. Out of Essex County, Irvington High School. And as much as their minds are on today's parade, I'm sure they're also thinking about their high school basketball team's chance for a Group 4 basketball championship. Rutgers University hosting the championships today, and Irvington looking for its first ever state championship in basketball.
Oh, I'm sure they're thinking about that. There's a Merck Volunteer Fire Department.
Merck, one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world, headquarters in Rahway. And they have, of course, their own volunteer fire department to service their industrial complex right off of Route 1. New Jersey Abates. It's the Union Middlesex chapter. It's a motorcycle club. It didn't take me too long to figure that one out.
They're a safety organization as well, Matt. They like to emphasize motorcycle safety.
And I see a Harley Davidson there. Harley Davidson, an American company that was just about ready to fold. And then employees got together and worked hard to turn that company around.
And I understand, believe it or not, Matt, that one area that they're really selling is in Japan. They've made an effort to market very heavily in Japan.
Well, I'm not that familiar with motorcycles, although I do know that the Harley, of course, is real big, powerful motorcycle, much more powerful than any of the Japanese manufacturers.
That's right.
So if you're a motorcycle enthusiast anywhere in the world, a Harley is something that you look for.
And now the Union County Emerald Society in view now, Matt.
Based out of Elizabeth.
Just passing out of view.
But you can hear them.
We can hear them.
As they pass by our review, and they move down Main Street toward the main reviewing stand.
And in view now would be the Avenel, Port Reading, Seawarren Girl Scouts. I'm sorry, that's still the Emerald Society.
Yes, the Union County chapter, the Emerald Society of Police and Firemen. We're near the tail end of the parade. I'd say we probably have about 20 minutes or so, maybe a half hour left. Parade coming up near the 2-hour mark.
The parade seems to be moving very smoothly this year, Matt. We've had very few pauses. I think we've had one. And the parade committee likes to emphasize that it runs smoothly, and we seem to be moving along here.
And that is a credit to the parade committee and to the American Irish Association of Woodbridge, but there are so many other groups, the police department, the recreation department, the mayor and the township council, all of whom come together to help support this parade. Make sure it runs smoothly, Jim.
That's right. And to all, to the mayor, to the council, to the recreation department, the committee, on behalf of the committee, I would like to extend our thanks for your support.
The Emerald Society, represented by the police and fire departments of Union County. And the Union County Sheriff's Office, represented by the van, Ralph Froelich, the sheriff. And of course, Ralph participates in our Crime Watch program on Suburban's TV3. And it has been very successful in publicizing those suspects being sought by either the county sheriff's department or local municipalities, and it's been very successful in apprehending some of those. Cub Scout Pack 53 from Ford, sponsored by Our Lady of Peace Church.
With them is their Cub Master, Bob Hopkins.
And they are celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. And we congratulate them on that anniversary. And I'm sure they'll have a number of activities during the course of this 40th year.
And some happy faces despite the cold.
Bundled up a little bit, but enjoying themselves nonetheless. 40 years of serving each other is their logo, and this their 40th year. From Edison, the North Edison section of town, the HK Volunteer Fire Company, in their 66th year. It's a volunteer fire company. And members of the VFW Post 3117, they also from Edison, Joe Butler, the commander. And riding behind them, the Post Queen, Deirdre Kalachi. Miss VFW. And they are supported today by their Ladies Auxiliary Post. Veterans of foreign wars, those who served their country.
Most recently in the Desert Shield, as you
Yes.
mentioned earlier, Matt.
Marino can please bring from the board running. Little blank screen.
From Linden, the American Legion Post 102 Color Guard, Michael Knott is the captain of the Color Guard. And they gave the crowd a little bit of a jolt just a few moments ago.
And they were organized only in July of 1989, Matt.
Yeah, right.
And behind them, and you see it now, that's a 37mm cannon, which does fire blanks, thankfully. At one time, it did not, we would assume. Jack McDonough, the post commander, standing there on the cannon. And particularly, they march in remembrance of the prisoners of war and the missing in action.
And there's Sparky in our view right now.
Marching with the Protection Fire Company number 1 out of Caseby. Matt Winkler, the chief. Were organized back in June 1908.
And another fire truck decked out in green garland. I've got another trivia question for you, Matt.
All right, fair enough, Jeb.
Approximately how many Americans would you figure are of Irish descent?
Oh, boy.
We figure we have about, what, 300 million people in the country?
Yeah, probably a little, I guess a shade less than that with the 90 census. I'll say, I don't know, 52 million.
Very close.
Okay. And
You
I did
that
not
one
look.
right.
I did not look.
Very close. 40.7 million. 40.7 million can claim to be of Irish descent. Many of them represented here today, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure they are. And of course, the Eastern Seaboard is where many of them came and stayed, set down their roots, and then fanned out across the country. Of course, strongholds in Chicago, other points in the Midwest. They landed in America, went to work right away, as we mentioned earlier, in the civil service. We're thrilled to have the vote, which was denied to them or to their ancestors.
That's right.
And they became active in politics.
Jack Fay, I think I mentioned to you earlier, Matt, at the ceremony this morning, said that they were so thrilled to have the vote that they did it 4 or 5 times on some days.
Troop 1203 of the Brownies. Actually, this is all part of the Delaware Raritan Girl Scout Council, the Colonia Island Girl Scouts, and Daisies, Brownies, and Juniors. And they have a number of troop numbers: 223, 276, 467, 1032, 1201, 1203. 1237, 1407, and 1667, and all the troops from this service unit are marching together. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with more right after this.
Little baby, don't say a word. Last year, thousands of innocent children were caught in the crossfire of violent crime. And it's not just the children who suffer. How much longer will you let this go on? Call this number now. We'll send you information on how you can protect your children from crime and drugs in your neighborhood. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
This is just one of the many parts you can play as a young Red Cross volunteer. Volunteer and play your part.
And Weldery Band. And the Woodbridge Fire Company #1 marching proudly this afternoon.
And they have approximately 40 marchers today.
They are one of the last groups marching, and it does not represent a lack of honor. In fact, everyone wants to be first.
That's right.
But there's a rotating system on how you move up and back.
That's right. We try
Spread
to
the wealth around.
That's right. We realize that frequently in March it gets cold and windy, and we have to rotate the units. These particular fire engines are beautifully decorated with the large shamrocks and green carnations.
Crowd has thinned out as we are at the end of the parade, and many of those who came out to watch this afternoon will move on to some of the celebrations in town. I know the association has a big get-together here in town.
That's right. This year it's going to be at the Hungarian Hall in Woodbridge proper, and many of the representatives of the different units and participants will be over there.
Woodbridge Emergency Squad also on hand today. They serve Woodbridge proper and Seward, and taking a cue from the Carteret Fire Department.
The sirens are in working order, man.
Yes, they are. As we found out from the Carteret Fire Department, I guess Woodbridge wants to show that if Carteret can do it,
that's right.
Woodbridge can do it.
There's a little bit of pride coming in there, right?
Woodbridge Emergency Squad in need of volunteers, they point out. Richard Dunham is the captain. Charles Paul is the president. And I'm sure they would appreciate any offers from volunteers who would like to service the community. As they like to point out, and I hope that we can be heard, but when you make that call, you're always happy that someone's there to respond.
That's right.
And without volunteers, there will be a day when no one will respond. That's a day that none of us want to see.
We have some kind of creature in our screen now. It's
appropriately green.
An Irish dinosaur.
And the parade now wrapping up with Defender Fire Company #1. Bringing up the rear, followed by the police escort at the end.
The police escort and the forgotten heroes of the parade in some ways, Matt. They're followed by the marshals of the parade, and they're the people who are at the beginning of the parade to make sure all these units get out when they're supposed to get out. They worked very hard. They worked very long today. And, well, when they come into view, we'll have to give them a special salute.
Dunellen represented today. Southbound Brook represented today. The Southbound Brook Fire Department on hand. Coming over from Somerset County. And the Fighting 55th. And the Marshals at the end of the parade.
That's right. They're coming into view now, and they work hard. They're all members of the American Irish Association. And I see a couple of McCarthys. I see Brian Shaughnessy, Charlie Shaughnessy.
19 more to go.
I see Alice. Or Mary Alice Aston, George and Kathy Aston.
Yes, very well. Perfect.
And they're smiling despite the cold, Matt.
Smiling because it's been another successful parade, the 19th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade here in Woodbridge, the American Irish Association running the parade, and Jim, another successful run.
Right, and on behalf of the association, Matt, I'd like to thank you. Again, it's been enjoyable.
I've had a fun time.
TV3, and look forward to seeing you again next year.
Well, we hope to be here once again. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, and we will once again bring you all the festivities from Woodbridge Township. That will wrap up our coverage. For Jim Durk and Jack Fay, I'm Matt Lachlan. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and have a happy St. Patrick's Day.